My name is Tim McBride. I'm partner with Wexler Real Estate here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm founder of Homes for Good. I'm a real estate agent and a change agent, as I like to call myself, as I believe in using the platform I have to not only serve my clients, but also serve my community by bringing people together through great stories. And when I think of fashion, for me, I don't necessarily always trend towards, suit and tie. I come from the West Coast, born and raised in Vancouver, but I spent 12 years almost in Southern California, and I love kind of the surf casual culture that is Southern California. You see a lot of it here. So my morning typically starts with having kind of planned out my day the night before. If I know I'm going to be in the office, kind of doing more admin, paperwork, I kind of typically go a little more business casual. If I know I'm out in the marketplace a little more, open houses, meetings with clients or potential clients, presentation is very important to me. I take my job seriously and my responsibility as a realtor seriously. So, as I go through, I have my jackets, my suits, some ties. Got to bring a little color, personality to it. Variety of shirts, different color pants, dress pants, or casual pants, jeans, golf shirts, a bunch of different belts, sweaters, and then shoes. But my day, what I wear is always going to be professional. I'm always going to want to put my best foot forward and in terms of using fashion to honor the work that I'm doing, honor the work that I'm trying to accomplish, and create an element of pride in myself and trust with my clientele and my marketplace. I grew up with two very supportive parents, but my father kind of instilled with me the entrepreneurial spirit, and his passion really, after he walked away from the corporate world, was in men's retail and men's fashion. He always kind of had an eye for it, an interest in it, and he took a leap of faith and he started in 1988. I was 6 years old, his own men's clothing store. He saw a need in our city and our community for something that could provide men quality, professional attire with a little bit of style to it, something that he hadn't been able to find in Vancouver at the time. When we talk about fashion, I'm kind of inspired by this little book I have here, because it's a folder or file my dad gave me, which is kind of his opening first few months. And there's some great images in here that show kind of the outfitting of the store and it kind of coming to life. So, being an entrepreneur, kind of real estate, you got to create your own success. You got to build your own success, and it's really inspiring to go back and see kind of the shell of an office space that he turned into, what became a very, very successful men's retail shop. 29 years later, he retired with still the same store and an amazing track record of just amazing relationships that went far beyond just him selling men's clothing, but to building lifelong relationships within the community across Canada and around the country. Part of my style too is I grew up motivated and inspired by the sports industry, both the team component, the business component, but also the athlete. They were inspirations to me, not only in their talents and gifts as phenomenal athletes, but what they represented to the community. And as I've kind of grown up and gone through college and got into the sports business space, you start to see players take more responsibility for their brand. We're in more of a digital era, so they can. So I always kind of find it fun to watch, what players are wearing, how they enter stadiums, how they leave stadiums, and kind of the respect they give to their wardrobe. If you have integrity in what you're doing and why you're wearing things, then I think it's great. There is no right way to wear something or right way to look, as long as it's respectful in regards to the environment it's in, I guess. If there is a piece though that has stuck with me from the beginning of my kind of passion and career in sports, it's the hat. Specifically New Era, just the quality, the recognition that brand has, that logo has. And I've just naturally wanted to own hats, and kind of as I went through college, I started accumulating more and more. They became art pieces on my wall. They became pieces I wore, pieces I didn't wear, but I always found there was a story with each hat, whether it was me at a stadium buying a hat, or a city I lived in, or just the color, the style. If you know me, you'll know I have probably over 100 New Era Pro Fits, from all across all leagues and all teams and all cities. And there's basically a story behind every piece that I bought. And I've taken that passion, I've kind of branded it on my kids, if you will. They all have their own kind of new era infant pro fits, and each one has one in the city they were born, and each one has one of the city that my wife and I have either lived in or are from. So, like I said, there's always kind of a reason for it, but there's personality to it. I've always appreciated that when someone wins something, the hat is the first thing that people put on. It's a statement of success, of championship, of winning. It also represents team and community. One thing that's really important to me when it comes to fashion is I don't in any way use fashion as a motivator or a vehicle to highlight success or to promote myself. I see it more as my uniform, if you will. Coming from the sports background, uniform, when that goes on, there's a level of professional and there's a level of expectation in terms of execution. So when I dress professionally, whether it be suit and tie, the way I'm dressed now, it's me making a commitment to myself and to my clients that I take myself seriously, I take my role seriously, and you can trust me with the responsibilities of serving you as your realtor.